you saying that?
This is Surreal Series, baby.
Dinosaurs. There's only one on the table.
All right, whatever, dude. Plural, singular, dinosaurs. There's one sitting there, but it's multiple in my heart.
You know what? I'm not playing.
And I hate all of them.
You're going really too postmodern on me right now.
All right, dude. Hey, don't come at me
not
like
for this
that.
episode, not this week. Episode 18 is a week of reality.
Yes.
Where we're not only real.
We are surreal.
Welcome back, everybody.
Week 18?
Yeah.
I always
Episode
forget the
18.
numbers, dude. And that's a good sign. You know
Yeah.
what? That's a really good sign.
You're invested in your work, just not the numbers.
Yes, exactly. I don't care about the numbers. I'm just here for the hijinks.
The hijinks, the hilarity,
Yeah, exactly.
The
I'm not just here for
gallivanting.
the hijinks. That would be awful.
the dolly whopping.
Imagine if I was never serious during this entire show. You're like trying to have a really serious conversation with me. I'm like, but wait.
That'd be really irritated.
Yeah, exactly. You're telling me your really sad story, and I'm like, poop farts.
It's about, I would say, at least a third of the podcast now, though.
Yeah.
But on both of our ends.
Yes, exactly. And I like it. I like being goofy.
In that third,
Yeah.
it's 70% you, 30% me. How about that?
Yeah.
Do we want to break down these numbers even further and confuse you guys? Sure.
Okay, fair
But
enough.
I'm too lazy to
Fair
do
enough. There's a hyperbole of...
You lost me at hyperbole.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even know. I was going to say a tangent, but then hyperbole bumped in my mind. Anyways, so we were going to have guests on this week, but unfortunately scheduling issues and all this jargon. But for future guests, if you're listening, or just really anyone in general, if you want to come on, just make sure you're a very punctual person and, you get everything sorted out, because we will give you months heads up, as we have for our other guests. So, Trevor, you have anything to say on
No,
that?
I guess we just get excited about it, but I mean, it's been on 2 occasions now where it's kind of a short...
We had 3, actually.
3.
Yeah.
3. 3 times where it's a short notice.
Yeah.
Where, if we got a week, it'd be a lot easier to pull together.
Exactly.
Especially, and I put a post out this week about just getting more people on. He had a few people answer. I told him I'd get back to him today and yesterday, but I just got caught up in editing YouTube, and we were planning the whole buying list.
Yeah.
But it's pretty promising. We'll be able to fill, because I like doing solo episodes, but I honestly do just want to have guests on just because it's fun and to practice interviewing.
Exactly. Well, I think it's just practical to have guests on, because that's our whole thing, is like learning people's experiences and stuff like that. And we're trying to make it an every other week type thing. Now, if we break that, we break it. It doesn't have to be a streak or anything like that, but it makes it a lot better on us. It makes it a lot better on you guys too. So you're not getting tired of our content or whatever, so.
Yeah, and we're still polishing and honing our skills, which we're probably at 1% threshold of being actual hosts of a show.
Yeah. I'd say even lower than that.
Well, yeah.
We're not even at full power yet.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm just powering up, dude.
Well,
You
that's
see
what I'm
me?
saying. We're at 1% threshold of what
You're-
we can be.
Yeah.
Simply-
You ever seen Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
over
you
9,000.
Yeah. Okay. You remember when he's powering up and then he's like, and then the ground start, like the rocks on the ground start moving upwards. That's where we're at. Okay. I want the fucking air and shit moving around us. I want an aura around us that we're just.
I can't really relate to Dragon Ball Z, but I'll coin that one.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe that would be a good thumbnail for this.
Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll
I would
see where
like
this
that.
episode goes.
Yeah.
You never know.
It could be.
But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of other people that have opportunities where that are a lot better than ours, in the sense that they actually went to school for this and they can sit in a studio and have people criticize what they're doing and have people that have been in the field. But at the same time, I like it the way that we're doing it, simply because podcasts are a lot more free form, easier to talk about things that
I think
are
it's the best.
controversial.
I think it's the best form, and this is my opinion. It's the best form of entertainment that you can get. It's so raw and real. It's not like watching TV. It's not like watching a YouTube video, where they clip themselves. This is unedited, full conversation. We can talk about whatever the fuck we want to. You want to talk about Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky? Let's talk about that. You want to talk about whatever, dude? You want to talk about Jar Jar Binks in episode 1, Phantom Menace? Let's talk about that. You can talk about anything. So
it's kind of a slower learning path, not having somebody that's a step up above you or multiple.
Exactly.
But, eventually down the line, we will hopefully get the opportunity to collaborate with somebody that
I really hope so.
Has experience, knows what they're doing, can have a few learning tips, and possibly even we can just share tips, something that we know that they don't.
And there's a lot that we've already learned so far, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, and a lot of people prioritize different things going into this podcast. There's so many people that, I see the posts on Instagram of the photos that they put up are just stunning,
No, 100%.
But where ours is, they're more personal in the studio. Just, hey, these are our guests, and this is the episode.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something that we're going to work on, I guess. But, we just want it to be, like, as casual as possible. It's not like we're trying to win you in semantics and shit like that. Our content is in what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the pictures that we post later or anything like that. I think.
Yeah, that's what I find weird.
Recognized, yeah.
There's all those posts online of, I understand it. If we were in that situation, we would flaunt it too. But you see those girls that are posting pictures of them just walking down the beach in the sunset.
Yeah,
talking about like, oh, the new episode's dropping.
I'm like, dude, I will listen to their episodes too, or like I'll see this really good episode of like a couple guys sitting around and they're like. And it's a really well done photo, and their studio looks way better than ours. Granted, our studio looks pretty good, dude. Like a lot of time and effort, good equipment, great equipment. But like their studio looks immaculate. They have like everything, soundproof walls, everything like that. Whatever. I'm like, oh, okay. They probably have a really good podcast, and then I'll listen to 5 minutes of it, 10 minutes of it, and I'm like, this is actual shit. This is actual shit. They're not interesting people. They have no fun on the podcast either. That's like number one, dude. If you're not enjoying what you do, they don't seem like they're enjoying it.
That's the number one tractor beam towards your content is if you're having fun doing it, which we could certainly do a lot more to have fun.
Yeah.
But that's also building in time and feeling yourself out, feeling us out is, that's the growing pains of people that drop out of making a show, continue making a show, and never find their direction because they think they know exactly where they want it, but that's not going to, which is perfect.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like, if it's perfect for you, then that's great. But if
then
you're
it's
trying
perfect.
to find, if you're trying to find a natural groove, though, too, and get money out of it and monetize a YouTube channel, you are going to have to change things up.
Yes.
But you're going to have to make them you.
Yes,
Some people, that's the next step.
You have to bring you with the change.
Yeah, you have to adapt.
Yes.
Yeah,
and that's very true. Something I've started telling myself, and I think this might help you guys, is like anybody who wants to have a podcast or owns a podcast, and this is a question I've been asking myself since day one, is what makes us different than another podcast? What makes us different to other people than another podcast, or to me than for another podcast, or for you? What makes us different? And I think for us, the answer is, well, we're open forum, and you can find that on a lot of other podcasts. But I think the thing that sets us aside is that we are battered, bruised, beaten people, and we want to talk about like certain things like mental health. We're bringing that to the table. We're not just open foruming it every time. We'd like to do that, but there's still things that we'd like to talk about, that are on our agenda. So,
yeah, I guess a decent way to put it would be. You know how a lot of people, some people, not a lot, or even maybe a lot, they avoid deep conversations.
Yeah.
Where, I
have a couple of those guys at work.
Yeah. And where with people more like me and you, we would rather have one very deep conversation and that be the only one that happens all day.
Yeah.
Rather than have multiple surface level conversations.
Yeah. I hate surface level conversations.
Yeah, same. So
I think we both talked about that. Yeah,
that's what's important. What we want to do with the podcast too is we don't want to come in here and just have surface level conversation, put up a facade, and be funny. Is we'd rather talk about things that have. When you leave this room, you have a more intimate understanding of us and who we are, and vice versa with us and them.
Yeah.
And we have a deeper relationship, whether it's a friendship or a business relationship or
just a viewership.
Viewership or interviewee, just whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's a more intimate understanding there.
I think even with last episode, I think I didn't get any comments or anything on it. I don't really want to ask for any comments, but I feel like in my heart of hearts, like a lot of people related with it in a way, shape, or form, whether they've been sidelined or anything like that. We talked a lot about that. And, I think people can relate with us a little bit better, and certain things like that is going to open up doors of possibility of helping you guys and stuff like that. And we don't want to just be talking, we want to actually like hands-on help people, whether a guest is going through something, let's talk about it,
Yeah. I mean, what's wrong with, the way I look at it is it's hard, and I think that's why some people have trouble coming onto a podcast, is having personals out there, just anything about you that you don't want.
Exactly.
Because then it's out there forever, because for sure we're not taking that episode down. If you ask us to not post it before,
then
exactly. 100% we
won't post it.
But if it's posted, sorry.
Yeah.
That's too late.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless some, copyright issues.
Well, yeah.
But, God, I was trying to get where I was going with that.
Well, I think I kind of understood where you're going. It's like some people are afraid to do that kind of thing because of what could go on out there. But it is sort of a remedy. It feels like a remedy every time we come in here. We talk about some serious shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt a lot better from last week. Just being able to vent what I wanted to, whether the mic is in between us or not. I think that helped me a lot. And just having a good conversation with somebody can help. And the biggest thing to know is like, people don't want to talk unless they know that you've gone through the same thing. And I think us showing vulnerability and stuff like that, it will make it easier for people to relate and come on here and see that, there's nothing to be afraid of. Speak your mind.
Yeah. And I guess, and also just if there's somebody out there that gives you flack for any problem that is revealed, are they even worth your time? That's just, to me, it's an easy telltale sign of somebody you block on social media.
Yeah.
And just don't really, because, we're at that age, especially our age, physical age, 23 and 25. We're at that point in life where we don't have time to spend time with people that have that negative outlook on us, and they don't want just positive.
Exactly. It does make it a lot harder to kind of deal with people right now. Yes, at this stage in life when there I don't need your support. It's just I need positive energy, coming my way and going your way.
Which is support, but not actual, like,
yeah,
not monetary or physical
not verbal.
support.
I don't need verbal support. I don't need anything. Just like, I don't need bashing. I don't need, stuff like that. I know when people talk shit, I have people at work that, make fun of this, dude. I don't care. It doesn't, but to think that you're going to say that and for me to be positive about it, I guess, or positive towards you is far-fetched. I mean, I can't, I'm not going to hold back my true feelings on things. And, you know me, straightforward,
and it's
dude.
not even coming off as a dick or anything, but it's just, if you have that to say about me, then I guess, I'm not going to associate with you as much.
Yes, exactly. And I'm not going to be there and be the bad guy and start talking shit back or whatever, dude. I'm over that stage of my life, dude. I was loud and obnoxious for far too long.
And trying to turn the work tides and get teams going. And
exactly, dude. Exactly. And that goes hands in hand with last week what we were talking about is like not having the power. Feel like you literally have no power in your friend group where people shit on you all day, where you feel ostracized. And then later on in life, it manifests when I was 14, 15, stuff like that, where I tried to get the upper hand on certain things. And now I think it's I'm a lot more settled down with that, that I just want to see people do good. And I even posted about it. We were just talking about it before the podcast started. I genuinely would say this. If God or a higher power came to me and said, you'd be upset for the rest of your life, but everyone in this world would be happy, I'd take it in an instant. Because I want nothing but better for other people now, and I think I'm starting to realize that. So,
yeah.
And not to be mistaken, if you guys have seen the post, I don't know if people thought it was like totally emo and I was like sad boy. Nah, not sad boy. All right, happy boy. Happy boy having
APB happy baby.
Yeah, ABB happy baby. Am I changing that now? Am I changing that now? No, just having like internal thoughts, dude. Oh yeah, if you didn't see last week, I changed my Twitter to APB crybaby?
Chill baby.
Chill baby. Chill baby. Yeah. Chill APB chill baby.
Chill
Wait,
baby.
Is it APB happy baby?
Chill baby.
Chill baby.
Pointing to a camera 40 feet
Oh,
away.
dude. Hey, that would be the best APB chill baby picture in the world. Pointing to a camera 40 feet away on a 2-story balcony, just with a microphone in front of my face. APB chill baby.
Endorse? Question mark.
Yes, endorse this. Anyways, I mean, we can get into the thick of it, dude. Me and Matt were having a conversation. I want to fill you in, dude, and then we'll go with what we were talking about later. But I want to continue this conversation, and it was very good. We can restart it completely. But basically, it started with me and Matt talking about ancient civilizations, I think, and like Sumerians and religion and stuff like that. And that's something that scares a lot of us, reasonably, I think.
What do you mean?
The fear of the unknown, the fact that we don't know what happens in the next life, and it's not for sure.
Oh,
it's never a given thing.
I didn't know what you meant. So you're just saying is the varying explanations of all the religions.
Yes, exactly.
From
exactly.
Thousands and thousands of years ago up till now.
Yes,
all the
exactly.
Ones.
Who's right? Who got it right? The atheists that believe nothing's going to happen. The Buddhists and Hinduists. I think Hindu believes in reincarnation, correct?
Pretty much. There's basically, I think the way it is there's only pretty much two religions that you don't get a second chance, which is Christianity,
yep,
and then atheism. But atheism, it's not you don't care about second chances because nothing's.
Well,
it'd
be Christianity, Judaism, and
Islam. You're right.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'm sorry. Those type of base religions with the monotheistic religions. That are those three: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam.
Yeah,
and then tacking on atheism.
Yeah,
but other than that, I think a lot of them are a form of reincarnation or earning your way into an afterlife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
right?
Yeah, exactly. And then you have the reincarnation. So, I mean, you really have three choices, three opportunities here.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they're right or wrong, who knows? It could be something a fourth, curveball.
Yep.
What is it? I don't know.
We're only humans. We don't know
you
shit,
fucking,
so.
Transcend time and space. It's not even heaven. It's just blank white, but it's still existent.
Just
something like that.
WALL-E movie remake.
Dude, you could just literally live the WALL-E movie.
That'd be kind of cool in those chairs.
That would suck
I'd
ass,
get out
dude.
of the chair though, not be fat.
You remember at the end where he's like, he gets out of the chair.
No,
you didn't watch that?
No, I'm just the only part I can think of with that movie is like parts of the beginning, and then the part where like all fat people are falling off the chairs on the highway.
Oh no! So one of the because
it's like a truck of cows just falls over. It's just you remember that video of the truck of cows that like tips over and they just go flying across the pavement.
I never
they
saw
just
that.
slide.
I never saw that.
Dude. Like 10 yards across the pavement, then they all stand up and just walk into a field.
No, I never saw that.
I'll show
all right,
you.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that after.
It's funny. But I'm sorry to distract.
Yeah, no, dude, I like it. I like it, dude. If we can go off on those tangents, the better. But yeah, so I mean, you could have the WALL-E movie. You could do whatever, dude. There's so many curveballs that it could be, and we have these set standards of what it could be. Of these three things, and that scares people. And I think that really is a horrifying aspect of the daily life that we live, because we have people that are on the fence, the agnostics. I think that's really what they do is like, there might be a God, but I don't really care kind of thing. They live on a fence. Now, I used to live on a fence too. I haven't really decided anything. You know what I mean? But
Still, you mean?
to this day, yes, in a certain way. And I'll put it out there. I think in layman's terms, I'm a Christian, but I don't believe fully the Christian values or anything
You're
like that.
a new age Christian.
I think so. I'm an APB chill baby Christian, dude.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I believe that there is a God out there. I believe there's intelligent design. I don't believe certain things in the Bible and some of the teachings.
Yeah.
I believe that gay people should get married. Whatever, you can have sex, dude. Whatever. I don't care.
It's everybody has their own.
I think
Really.
some of the morals in there are something to be glorified, and some of the morals in there are something to be what would be the opposite? Just looked down upon. I don't have any better word but demonized. I say so like certain things like gay people shouldn't be married, gay people shouldn't have sex. Dude, go ahead. I think the key to living the next life, a better life. Yes, exactly.
Have sex, no matter what.
And I believe the key to the next life is complete happiness, finding your heaven here before you go on to heaven. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're not going to find heaven if you're constantly struggling and you're like, well, I don't want this person to find out if I'm gay. You never come out. Mm-hmm. I think things like that should like, that's where I stand on it. But you have a lot of people that don't really choose anything, and it is a step of faith, right? So we get into everything that's happened throughout the world, all these like intelligent design type things, the DNA, stuff that's hard to explain. And that's what I want to talk about today, is like stuff that is hard to explain. And me and Matt were kind of battling back and forth on it, that like he's saying there's an explanation for everything pretty much, I'm saying,
as in there's one that exists or that we have, or there is there is one that we don't have yet, you mean?
What, an explanation?
Yeah.
He's saying there's things that we do have and that we might have at some point. And I totally believe that. But in certain aspects, there is things that are
unfathomable
and unprovable. There's a certain instance, I was just talking about this one, was, have you ever seen those hexagonal pillars that are in Ireland?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. They chop them up to like currents, waves, stuff like that, erosion.
I think I remember what you're talking
but
about.
They're perfect pillars on the side of this Irish coast, I think. It's got all pillars, Ireland. Can you pull it up, Matt? Actually, yeah. I'll show them the pictures. Can you pull up? Okay, it's called Giants Causeway. It's an area of about 40,000 interlocking basalt columns. Basalt, something. It's about 4.8 kilometers, so I'd say about 3 miles.
Probably a little less.
Bro, Adam, it says the result of an ancient volcanic fissure eruption.
Okay, so that's the hard thing to explain is, yes, I could see the mound being formed by that. Now, perfect hexagonal shape, dude. How? Like, those are the things.
Especially with the thousands of years of erosion.
Yes, exactly. And they still remain. That's the scariest part about all of it.
Okay, so I'm going to throw two.
Not scary.
I'm going to throw two possibilities on why they exist.
Okay.
Both from history, and you tell me which one makes more sense to you. So around 50 to 60 million years ago, in the Pleistocene epoch, an Antrium was subject to intense volcanic activity when highly fluid molten basalt introduced into the chalk beds to form an extensive lava plateau. As the lava cooled and contracted horizontal configurations fractured in a similar way to drying mud, with the cracks propagating down as the mass cooled, leaving pillar-like structures, which also fractured horizontally into biscuits.
Okay.
In many cases, the horizontal fractures resulted in a bottom face that is convex, while the upper face of the lower segment is concave, producing what are called ball and socket joints. The size of the columns was primarily determined by the speed at which the lava cooled, and the extensive fracture network produced the distinctive columns seen today. The basalts were originally part of the great volcanic plateau called the Thulian Plateau, which formed during the Pleistocene. Now, this one's going to be a lot easier for me to read.
Okay.
This one says, according to legend, the columns are the remains of the causeway built by a giant. The story goes that the Irish giant Fóin Mac Comhill, from the Fainan cycle of Gaelic mythology, was challenged to a fight by the Scottish giant Benidorm. I like
Benidorm.
that. Benidorm, I challenge you to a way of making basalt. Yeah, but apparently these two giants duked it out, and in one version of the story, Fionn beats Benidorm, and in another, Fionn hides from Benidorm.
Yep.
But anyway, Benidorm apparently disguises the baby and tucks him in a cradle, and when Benidorm sees the size of the baby, he reckons that his father, Fionn, must be a giant among giants. So he goes back to Scotland.
He's super giant.
I don't even really understand how
Sounds like
these giants made the basalt.
Yeah, it doesn't explain that.
No.
Probably
Like a Paul Bunyan thing where they're wrestling with the ox and shit.
But
and
so now
So basically it's saying that the reason why these hexagonal rock shapes happen is because when lava cools, and it depends on there's on the bottom of it there's a convex, and then on the top there's a concave.
Yes. Okay.
And apparently the height of how big the hexagonal ones are is not the rate of which the lava cooled. So
here's what they're saying is we have a theory for how this happened. Were we there?
No.
Were they there?
No,
they were not there.
But
that sounds super fit. Like even just for that shape to happen 5 times next to each other. It's just weird
insane
to me.
Yeah.
You know, because that's all it really said was it was depending on the layer of mud at the bottom that it rests on.
Exactly. That's such a situational kind of thing. And yes, that can happen.
Like if you look at mud when it dries and cracks, it has those type of shapes, but it's not all consistent at all.
Yes, exactly.
You know, it's hexagons, octagons, pentagons.
It's like this. Erosion.
For nature to make perfect shapes.
And then the lava oozes out to form a plateau. And as the plateau hardens, the cracks form. And out of those cracks comes the hexagonal little fucking things that pour out.
Okay, but what you have to understand is when nature makes perfect shapes,
It's
something that never happens. Okay? That never happens. When you see perfect shapes, it's usually made by design.
That's actually one of the number one reasons, number one rules and tenets for making camouflage.
Yep.
Is when you're training for that in the military and you're designing bush camouflage for over tents and tanks or whatever you're doing to cover from, aircrafts coming overhead, or if you're just creating real bush or making your own ghillie suit. It's all about designing the most natural looking thing, which the most natural is the most imperfect, flowing thing, because nature flows, so
exactly.
making a perfect, there's nothing in the world that's ever made an absolute perfect circle, not even like an oyster, oyster pearl. None of them
there's
are perfect.
Imperfections. There's a lot of imperfections actually on them. And it's very rare that you find one that's close to perfection.
But if you look at the picture of the Giant's Causeway, there's many imperfections on all kinds of hexagons. I mean, not one hexagon
when
is
it was
exactly
created, though.
the same. Well, here's the thing, is what they're saying is that, the reason you're able to see them is due to the erosion from the coast.
Tell me this. What is the mass of basalt? Tell me what the mass makeup of basalt is, because I believe that it's a very soft material, too.
Porous.
In terms
all right.
of, yeah.
So I got it up right here. It is a mafic extrusive igneous rock, which means it's formed from a rapid cooling of lava. You know? So it's magnesium rich and iron rich lava, and so apparently basalt is is the rock that forms after lava.
After cooling. Yeah.
So it's like gray rock.
But it's soft.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at first like mud, but I feel like it hardens over time. And I feel like due to the erosion from the waves constantly battering the coast, that it only reveals. Because I feel like you wouldn't be able to see those hexagonal shapes, because if you stood on the ground, it would only look like dirt looking down. But it's because of the constant battering of the coast that reveals the hexagonal shapes, almost like a cliff.
To me, that looks more of like if we're putting that, because that shape just doesn't happen. That's just why I can't believe it. I guess I have to take the skeptical side with Barihu on that one. It's just overall is when there's patterns naturally like that, unless it's on animal's fur or a plant's pattern, a specific plant, just not, it doesn't.
It's so rare that any sort of pattern happens. The only thing that we can know for certain is that fractals happen in nature. A lot of fractals happen in nature. Look at trees. They branch out from one base and go into multiple branches of it. Then you got the twigs, and they sprout. So that's a fractal, right? But that's about it for as far as geometry comes and stuff like that. I mean,
there's some
very
plants
rarely.
that are very
I don't think that's true.
I mean, find something for me that's perfect shaping. You have the shelves. You have the shelves down in.
The constant pressure that gravity forms to form an orb.
An orb.
Like a planet. You know how gravity will always form a circle?
Yeah, but the Earth's not perfectly round.
There's some places there's actually a lot of flex, dude.
Sure, but have you guys seen the way gravity acts on objects of mass? It creates a depression in them, which ultimately forms them into an orb.
Okay.
Like you got two blankets, and then on one of the blankets, there causes a depression from placing like a bowling ball on a blanket.
You're thinking like a ball on a trampoline, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say?
And because of the depression, it forms an orb.
Fair enough. Okay. I can say that is okay. That is a that's valid. That's valid, and I'll give you that.
Thank you.
But you're welcome.
I see where you're coming from, though.
Yeah. So, I mean, dude, just to say based on this that it's a theory that we don't know for sure happened, right? And dude, there's so many things. I was talking to him about a quark and how there's nothing smaller than a quark. That is our smallest building block of life. Actually, not of life, of existence, of matter.
That we know so far.
And
I've heard some people say there might be more.
Well, that's going into a what would that be? It's a totally different realm at that
quantum.
point. Yeah, that's quantum. That's quantum realm, exactly. Yeah. Which, if it's the quantum realm, that is a totally different universe. That is a different universe in itself.
No means yes.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. So that is a different universe where things don't play by our rules anymore. And that's theorized. That is just theorized. Right? So we got things like that just have no definitive line in it. It looks like a pixel. Not really, but has the same property as a pixel on a picture.
I've heard it described as like a spinning top almost.
That's probably what it more resembles.
I don't know
but
if
I'm
that
saying
meant
like
more like the behavior or if it meant the shape. I think it meant more behavior.
Okay, maybe. I haven't looked too far into them, but I know that nothing gets smaller than it, and it resembles a pixel, though.
Mm-hmm.
You put a bunch of quarks together, it creates an atom. You get an atom, that creates a molecule. You get a molecule that creates, you get an atom, that's an element. Now you get craft those together, makes a molecule. You get a molecule, you get a cell. You get a cell, you get an organism, right? So...
And there's even some single-cell organisms.
Yes, exactly. So you look at that, and it's like, that is just one piece of a mosaic of what a person is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a little, and you can't get smaller than that. That's as far as we can go. It's like the pixels. We only have 1080p, or we have 4K, right? You can't get any more definitive than that. They're saying 4K is the max that you can be able to see.
That's even recognizable to the human eye.
Yes, exactly. So now recognizable to our instruments and stuff like that. We can't see anything smaller than that. And maybe there is nothing smaller than that. So, and we might never find that out. Now, that being said, that looks like intelligent design. We have double helix, which is such a weird crafted thing. And I was talking to him, it was like formed in nucleotides. It's like I forget exactly what. Can you look up what a double helix is made out of?
Yeah, I was also looking up quarks, and apparently in 1970, when quarks were found, there was also a theory proposed that there actually may be things smaller than quarks, but
a theory nonetheless.
Yeah,
you know?
There's no way you could actually find it out. But a double helix is the description of a structure of a DNA molecule. A DNA molecule consists of two strands that wind around each other like a twisted ladder. Each strand has a backbone made of alternating groups of sugar and phosphate groups.
Okay.
So I guess what it's saying is a double helix is the description of the structure of the DNA molecule. So a double helix basically is referring to that twisted ladder shape that we all know DNA as. So that's what a double helix is. It's referring to the shape.
Yes, I was more looking for the composition of it, but yes.
So
for you guys there that do not know what a double helix is, it is our DNA. It is the storage of our DNA and what structure it is.
And it has alternating groups of sugar and phosphate groups, and the sugar is deoxyribose.
So you tell me that sugar and phosphate has created a ladder type thing, perfectly spaced out, by the way. Perfectly spaced out. DNA almost looks perfect, right? It's a perfect structure. And we're just told that this winding ladder type thing just, formed out of nowhere. Just formed right in the shit. And that created life. And that created,
Yeah.
That's so beyond my comprehension.
Can you turn that light on?
Yeah.
Just for the sake of seeing
Yeah.
that shit.
But it's so beyond my comprehension that, like, dude, for us to say that is like that is defining, yes, science got it right. We don't know how it was formed. We were not there. We come up with theories. We come up with theories to explain things. Then we get ourselves in a rabbit hole, right? That's what physics is. You get yourself in a rabbit hole by just trying to explain things with more physics, and it's never and it's never proven. So
yeah, I mean, overall, I think about this subject all the time because I look at it from both sides of science and religion.
Same with me.
And both of them are trying to over-explain way further than they possibly can and should.
Yeah.
Because me and you both emphasize and try to only worry about the things that we can change.
Yes, exactly.
So, I mean, I'm on the same boat as you. I guess I would have to say I'm a little bit more on the agnostic side than most people. Than most people I associate with that are, Christian. I still think that there is a God to some degree, some power. Maybe like intelligent design makes sense to me to some degree.
Well, I'm sorry.
But the way that it's been all conceived, like you've said in the Bible, it's not. I don't think that's even nearly correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially because if we're talking about ancient societies and the way if you go into the explanation of the Bible, it's, like the majority of Christians, they'd agree between 6,000 to 12,000 years, the age of the earth. Mm-hmm. Like that's what a lot of their explanation is.
Yeah.
I don't think that's feasible. Even if carbon dating isn't as accurate as they claim it to be, it is way more realistic for me to say it's closer to 4.7 billion years than 12,000.
Yeah, exactly. It also doesn't add up with our fossil record or anything like that, because you can literally see, okay, this bone is 10,000 years old, and why do we know that? Because it was next to a 10,000-year-old site of which things were created.
Yeah.
Now we find sufficient evidence that things are older than 10,000 years. Our human civilization is older than 10,000 years.
Some hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands of
not
years.
civilization. We didn't start.
No, civilization.
I mean, hunting and gathering for sure.
No, there is sufficient evidence. I'm not saying it's proof. there's sufficient evidence. Watch Graham Hancock's. I'm reading actually a book by him right now, and dude, there's just evidence. Like they use LiDAR now, which they use it on the.
It was what we talked about in the one episode off the Gulf Coast of Florida with that underwater city.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, they're using LiDAR. They spotted that.
Which there was signs of drilling pearls and making near perfect circles with drills for jewelry, and the wall was made out of oyster shells and like some compact concrete material. It was quite intelligent. It was. It may not have been where they lived, but it was some kind of connection area or like just center for something to go on.
Yeah. So, and we have it on the rainforest in Brazil.
It's amazing.
So, I mean there's structures there, man, that are
like, well, I was just saying, like, I don't know. I can totally see how there was civilization predating our conceived notion of what civilization started from. I don't doubt that at all. But,
yeah.
I mean, to say like 100,000 years ago there was civilization, I don't really believe to that extent. I just feel like humans would be way more far progressed than where we are now if we had jump start and then where we're giving ourselves.
Think about this. There is impact that's happened on this earth. And
Yeah.
we have evidence that an impact happened
Multiple.
20,000 years ago or 30,000? 12,000 years
The one
ago.
about Graham Hancock's book you're talking about and highlighting like
Yes.
well, how do you say it? Something Tepe.
Gigatepe.
Yeah. That was around 12,800 years ago.
Yes.
There's evidence that it hit like the northern ice caps, like up in Canada and somewhere over, like in I think two of them in Russia,
And is a
which was-
monumental disaster.
But there'd be like
which it erased history pretty much any time for like from 100,000 years ago to up to 12,800 years
And
ago.
do you know
I
where
feel
it
like
hit?
there- I
It
feel-
hit northern North America.
It came from northern, like it came from like
Sure.
Canada down into North America
Yeah.
and swept all the way down. And the most
And that's
evidence
where
that you see
that's where
is-
we're looking at the cradle of life nowadays, is actually in North America, that they believe that North America and South America was actually the cradle of life.
as in the start.
I don't think though because the Proto-Asian, I mean, all right, do you guys know about the Japanese Native Americans?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so the people,
They're called
it's like something with an A, but yeah,
they look completely different. They look more
Excellent.
Arabic and stuff like that.
they look,
than-
they have more Caucasian features,
Yes.
but that's only because because their skin pigmentation changed to absorb ultraviolet light from the sun. due
and
to
they're
high
more
altitude.
ancient than Asians.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, and I'm saying Native Americans can trace their lineage to the prototype of Asians, but the Native Americans of Japan cannot. So I'm saying that only leads us to believe that
Native Americans are also traced back to
You know
South
what,
America, though, as well.
yeah.
Not just Asia.
Well, okay, so here's what kind of what I have to say is, why can't there be, because it's such a cut and dry line where people are like, I either believe in science or I believe in religion, and I think a happy medium is where I'm finding it, at least, and this might only work for me, but is to find some sort of realization in both. You know what I mean? That there is an intelligent design and there is science to explain things. We can solve problems with science and figure out things. We can find medication. We can do things like that with things that were created. But I it's so hard for me to believe that Big Bang came from literally nothing to the size of a marble. You know what I mean? That's all these structures, all this energy, all these chemicals and everything came from this minute ball the size of a marble, is what we speculate. And these are scientists, you know? So
But that's the same leap of faith that Christians take every day.
that's what I'm saying, though,
All right.
is there should be a hand in hand
I
with
think
that,
that's
because there is a leap of faith in science, and science likes to denounce any sort of religion. I think if we look at it that way, it's unhealthy to look at it as cut and dry. One side's right, the other side's wrong.
Yeah, I've been using it as an interpretation for me for a long time, because if you can explain it scientifically, then that's a sign of a form of intelligence. So I mean, that's the most, I guess, the best argument for me as to why something could be intelligent design. And simply in that fact is there's 40 segments to the eye, like 40 different parts.
Yeah.
If one of those doesn't work, it doesn't work entirely. And the fact that you wake up every day and your body intelligently works where we could easily get some form of cancer and die.
Yeah.
Because that's all cancer is deformation of a cell. It's not growing properly. Well, how does all the billions and trillions of cells in your body know how to properly grow so you don't have cancer for the first 60 years of your life?
It's programmed.
Exactly.
It's programmed.
There's a form
Programmed by
of
what?
Exactly. So there's a deep underlying code, and that's why people can help. That's why you can even personify with anything or relate even with animals to some degree. Is there's some, like, animals don't have the same moral code as us, but they have a code. Yeah. You can personify into that. But it's just overall just people in general, morals.
Yeah.
A lot of people, even if people are doing something wrong and they don't feel like wrong from doing it, they know they have to get away with it somehow because it's wrong.
Yeah.
There's too many consistencies and
exactly
signs of intelligence to just let that go off the wayside. But where I think it's where people are trying to go too far into defining is, especially bringing it down to that 12,000 year gap.
Yeah.
I think a lot of things in there happened like story wise, but they're more of along the ways of the Native American tales where it's a depiction of what happened, not exactly what happened. It's what story that's been handed down for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Where at the end of the day, the Bible is said to be only enough of Scripture to get you to heaven. It's not enough to explain anything outside of that. It's the base necessary information that you possibly need.
Yeah, exactly.
So that it is still a leap of faith. It's a choice of free will.
Yeah.
But I guess...
Would it change anything in the Bible if we took Genesis and changed it to 100,000 years?
I don't know, because the thing is like
4 billion years.
The thing about those things is like Genesis or even Adam and Eve is those things were really used as a way to convert pagans to Christianity, as a way to like almost intermingle their religions in terms of more of Norse pagans, because what Christian missionaries did when they were trying to convert the religion from paganism.
They tried to find something as relatable as possible.
Well, they basically said Ragnarok is real, and basically Adam and Eve is just the beginning of the end of Ragnarok, and then they try to intermingle them like that, so that way more people would be more susceptible into.
I guess in a way I could understand that.
Well, I mean that's why we have the
but that's
story.
not for sure set in stone. That's just another theory.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that theory is more based in actuality to show that, like, there are signs of like kings sending missionaries over.
All right, so tell me this: Genesis exists in what is the Jewish
the Torah.
Torah exists in Torah, exactly as is.
Yeah.
So you're telling me Christians try to convert paganism with something that was already written?
Yeah, because there's actually signs of the Great Flood in Sumerian culture as well.
Exactly.
So
I think that it's
basically religions taking pieces of other
religions, or it's just
integrate.
or it's an all collective story that we can look at other cultures and use what they've used.
That's the thing, is almost every religion in the world associates or relates or talks about the big flood. Almost every single one.
And all of them have a main god, and all of them have, stuff
or
like that.
A god that is strictly for a certain purpose. If you're talking about Egyptian
gods,
well, no, they all have main.
Thousands,
they have main gods. Like,
well, they had main, but I'm saying is that even if there's.
But those main gods can always change depending on the pantheon. Like the Mycenaean Greeks, the Greeks that predate the ancient Greeks, their pantheon was basically the same as the ancient Greeks, except that Poseidon was the king of the
leader,
gods. And he was also
the king of gods.
And he was also the god of the earthquakes. And it wasn't until the Greek Dark Ages, after the Bronze Age collapsed,
for Zeus to become the god of the skies,
ahead of the pantheon, exactly. Yeah. And they took more of a shift, less from I forget the exact word for it, but it's gods that deal more with death, and they took more of an approach to gods that deal with fertility and agriculture.
Okay. Well, that being said, it's still okay. So you have a pantheon of gods, correct?
Yeah.
You have multiple. It spans what, 26 to 30 gods, something like that.
Sure. I mean, give or take. I mean, well, that's what I'm saying is like it really fits the needs of whoever's doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, but it's crafted from somewhere. It's crafted in some sort of belief. I'm not here trying to, promote anybody to joining, any sort of religion or anything. I'm just saying there's a not a need, but there is a desire for us to explain things using religion. And the reason that we're using that, I think, is because of these uncertainties and things like that. And I think it does kind of explain uncertainties and is a great thing for mortals. And so me saying that, I mean, okay, so you have all these coinciding religions that have very similar things. You have Mayan culture that resembled Egyptian culture.
A Greek culture, because it's considered,
Greek culture is similar too.
They were having like their own like it's not Renaissance, it's like classical era. But
how are you going to tell me that all these cultures that had no ability to interact with each other had similar, if not very, very, very parallel religions?
Dude, I can honestly, when I hear that and I ask myself how, the first thing that comes to my mind is like, well, we're all human, so we would all have the same wants and desires. And I feel like it's only due to the geographical location of where we reside do we start putting these walls up saying, no, that doesn't make any sense. Like if I lived in South America and I had a god for fertility of my crops, and you lived in Egypt and you had that same god, but he had a different name, we would probably be at opposite sides of the spectrum. Even though we would have the same, per se, quote unquote, God, we would be at opposite sides of the spectrum because personal bias would come into play, and I'd be like, my God's better than yours, and vice versa.
Well, that's where a lot of the wars happen. What do you think? What do you think?
I mean, I just, I feel like it's where it comes into science and explanation, chalking it up to, well, humans are humans is ridiculous, as like, just in the sense where if you go across any culture, so many religions are different. They have a similar narrative, but then they have whole different explanations and what gods are about, and have ones that apply to different things in that sense. We're like, it's like, there's no consistency among humans. Like we didn't even develop the same skin color or facial shapes and bone structure from being in the different places. So how are we going to have the same structure of mind and opinions and the way that we define reality?
Yeah.
So now the fact that it has a similar storyline still shows that there's more than just something like written in their head that has that there's for some reason that they think this way rather than the way, like, as in, how we were talking about Mayans, I guess, how Mayans think differently than the Romans did.
Yeah, but
not that it's like overall, if you take it and put it as a tree graph or a pie chart or whatever and how they act or whatever, it's going to have the same overlay, but it's an entirely different set of priorities that they have. And like which gods, like, because I mean, like the god of war, Ares, could have a whole different level on the totem, like has the same purpose but different level on the totem pole.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really based on geography, excuse me, like.
Well, and you was saying like with Poseidon and like how he was not top dog in a way, but then came to like it has to do with their narrative.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling like this, bro. I'm feeling like if you have like a Siberian, all right, it's like if you had, when we were talking about wolves, like a temperate climate wolf compared to a tundra wolf.
Yeah.
They would look different and their coats would look different, but would their behaviors be different?
Very different.
Well, I mean, in terms of maybe hunting, sure. But I mean, in terms of like
pack behavior, different.
All right.
Yeah. Different.
There you go.
Wait, dude. Yeah.
All wolves develop like their own everything.
Dude,
but that's
and
what I
own
mean.
emotions,
But that's
stuff
what
like that.
but that's what I'm trying to get at. Is like it's like almost not like their pack behavior inside the pack, but the pack itself forming.
When you said humans are humans.
Yeah,
did you realize that's basically you saying that's a leap of faith, taking that.
What? But I'm
Taking
saying
humans
this.
as humans.
I'm saying this. So humans as humans basically means is humans will form in a group, but how they interact and what they will do in that group is completely and totally up to, like, it can be circumstantial. But what I am saying is they will go in a group.
But
Yes.
the way that they come together and why they're together are completely different reasons.
But they will come together nonetheless.
Yes, but I guess what the sense I'm getting from this is that you're trying to say is that there is some form of consistency.
Yeah.
But I feel like that form of consistency isn't enough to even note because, like, in the sense that, like, it doesn't, like, show a trend of humans in a way besides they come together. Because, yeah, they're creatures of community.
Yeah.
But, like, the way that I don't feel like that and all affects the way that they're going to perceive the world. Because if they see if something, you know, one culture sees back in the day when they existed, giant short-faced bear that is standing 23 meters tall on its hind legs.
23 meters. No, that's 90
23 feet. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, 23 feet. I was I was
It's
actually
about 15,
having
15 feet tall.
Well, I saw the largest one was like 23.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was
Holy
just
shit.
it was the PBS Eons video.
Okay.
I don't know if that's
They
I
found
think
the-
that's the
found the bones of
largest
it.
record.
They probably found like the
Part of it and
yeah,
estimated
yes,
it.
But I'm saying this.
But
so.
yeah, but like, so their version of something terrifying could be totally different than somebody that's over in North America where the biggest predator for the longest time was the saber-tooth, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not doubting that, but what I am saying though is it probably give certain, what's the word we use for when you give animals traits that humans have?
anthropomorphized.
Anthropomorphize certain things, like how you were saying in Europe, the wolf was considered to be that of cunning.
Something of fear. No. In
Cunning
Europe
and-
is feared.
Cunning, yeah, but like cunning as in like a sense of like it's eating your sheep.
Bloodlust
Yeah, cunning and bloodlust. And then in North America, it was bravery and family
and
unity.
camaraderie. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It's
But
like,
that strictly is the settings that they put themselves in to interact with those
well,
animals.
I'll say this: I'm saying the Native Americans probably had their own form of what they anthropomorphized cunning and bloodlust, probably towards the fox. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, overall, we give certain things throughout our environment certain human qualities or traits, and I'm saying like it can actually be different based on culture to culture, but what is consistent is that we do give these anthropomorphic traits to certain things in our environment that are not
Actually,
us.
I do agree with you. Okay, I like where
You know
where
what
you're
I'm
going with
getting
that.
at?
But okay, but to chop it all up with okay, so basically let's go back to my original point is I don't want it to seem like we're like really debating this too hard. We are to an extent, but I want it to still be kind of us helping people through maybe something that scares them. So I mean, we can sit here all day and kind of
have our own little 2 cents
Yeah.
on which way the coin flips.
Yes,
but,
exactly. So I mean, but what I wanted to say is, there's no reason that we should be bashing each other for different beliefs.
I'm actually,
you know,
like if it wasn't for this conversation, I don't think the tangent that I was just on 5 seconds ago would have been able to be even conceived. Because
Anthropomorphization.
yeah, exactly. And,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm gonna listen back to this high as fuck, out of my blowed out of my gourd, and I'm gonna hear myself and be like, dude, I was on some other shit, man. Heavy.
oh shit.
Yeah, so I mean,
dude,
like,
love it,
I
man,
understand because I 100% understand where you're coming from with that, and I get that. I just don't get because what I'm saying is the only part I disagree with is the overall, like, the first part that you said was that is in the consistencies over all of culture. I mean, not all of different cultures, like with religion in itself, and because I mean they have
in cultures that didn't even communicate.
In cultures that didn't communicate. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think that's necessarily because that's just the human mindset, because you can go from there's 2 cultures across the world that have the same framework I guess you could say the same framework build that they have for their religion. But then you can go to the people that are right next door to one of those, and it's nothing like that whatsoever.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can look at Athens and Sparta as an example for that. But
which that's also a trend, though, too, is that you can say is that those are just people that are breaking off and that they're just because, I mean, there's one center point, there's only at every point of every start of every civilization, there's two boots on the ground. Whether it was two humans of Christian explanation where it's Adam and Eve, they just start there, or if it's just two people stray off from a group that they were in and wanted to start new and they had kids, and there's always two boots on the ground.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess you could say it all arguably comes from one point, and there's that rhythm of humans disagreeing and not having the same opinions and breaking off. But I don't that is a natural human tendency, but I don't see it making it so that it's the same structure of how you think things together. Because the way that socially that Asian people handled themselves
is completely different. And completely different on what. But I feel like it started out in the same space. It started on the same building block where it's Europeans and Asians both have honor and the concept because humans have the conception of honor and respect and shame. But I feel like their culture almost the way culture and religion work is it's evolution, but it's evolution of ideas. And I just feel like their way of living, the way of respect and the way of honor just out-competed the other forms of living. So I feel like you can think of that as what the Romans did. They basically unified all of Europe under the same alphabet.
Let me play devil's advocate here. Okay. You had ancient Sumerian culture, which we were talking about earlier, right? And I'm going to play on the opposite side of what I'm thinking right now.
All right.
Now, you have ancient Sumerian culture, which ultimately formed the Mesopotamia.
The Fertile Crescent.
Yes,
you got the
Fertile
Assyrians,
Crescent. Yes.
all those good guys.
And they basically took over, and that was ancient Mesopotamia. Now they pushed off their beliefs on other people, through war and stuff like that. They changed other people's beliefs, converted them, and then their children were taught this way of life, this way of life, this way of life. Now, let me play into my side is, yes, it was a polytheistic belief. Sumerians never got to South America. Sumerians never got to North America, correct? At that time.
Yeah.
The Bering Strait was closed. Everything like that, right? So I'm playing into that as it's too much of a coincidence for things like that to happen across the board. But at the end of the day, we can chop it up to science and we can chop it up to religion. I think there's a good blend in there. So me kind of closing off this whole topic, I want everyone to try and kind of put their pride aside and notice that other people do have different beliefs, and that's okay. That's okay. The scary thing is when we start fighting each other and start battling each other and making a mockery out of people, telling people what they are and what they aren't. I have people telling me, Trevor, that we weren't real Christians. That's okay. I mean, but
you're APB chill baby. Dude.
I'm APB chill baby Christian. Okay, I'm not your kind of Christian. Maybe I believe it in a different way. Maybe Muslims believe it in a different way. They have such a similar story, in their Quran. It's a very similar story. Yeah. Same with the Torah. Similar story. So I think you can find relations between everything, and you can find just ability to relate to other people, whether there is religion or science involved, So I think that's the scary thing that for this episode, I want people to work on is maybe just setting things like those aside, focus on yourself, but also, there's nothing to be afraid of with it. It is what it is, and you can come up to your own opinion on it. And if that works for you, that works for you.
Yeah, and I guess to go on that note too of you saying is because I do heavily agree with both you guys on how people are trying to lean on hard on one side or the other, especially where it definitely does not have to be whatsoever. That, you know, just sorry, I keep on itching my nose and I'm blocking my mouth. It was itchy.
You're good.
It's more like science is just, I look at it as in the form of how we are interacting with our
Things that
social
we're
selves,
giving
or
okay.
just like social selves, and then what's happening with technology and how we're investing ourselves way too deep into it, and it's dragging us out of it socially.
Yeah.
And so what's happening here is this whole cool thing, science came out.
Yeah.
And now a bunch of people are saying, well, this is here and in person and explaining things. I'm going to believe this rather than these words written down on paper.
Which is a leap of faith. And
Yeah, which is also a leap of faith,
Yeah.
too, as everything here that you're doing and choose to believe is faith-based. No matter what you say, it is a leap of faith, no
Even
matter what
science.
you're subscribing. Even science,
Yeah.
because it can't explain everything.
It's just a correlation between correlations.
Yeah, I
That's
feel
all
like
it is.
we're just too, like, people are still in that shock phase of science, like, oh shit. And then just like with us being aware of, like, because shows like Black Mirror are coming out, or just people being socially aware, technology is ruining society, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
To a degree, it is socially. So I feel like that's just another, like, facet of life that we deal with where we're feeling a lot of reverb right now, simply because we're not used to having so many things explained, like the Salem witch trials. A lot of people are starting to theorize that happened because people went out in the woods and ate a certain plant which was covered in fungi during that point of the year, and which would cause them to hallucinate and freak out and do things which didn't know what tripping was back then necessarily, especially those people. They didn't know what tripping was, so they were just like, holy shit, they're possessed. So up until even just a couple hundred, not even years ago, even 100, even you could say even now, there's not even actual explanations. People just make quick assumptions and associations and correlations with things.
Well, exactly. That is all science is assumptions, and it's further assumptions, and it's furthering an already presumed thing.
But don't be afraid to
Dive
listen
deep.
to listen to those fundamentally earth-shattering ideas.
Oh yeah.
I think, dude, both sides got it right.
Yeah.
Okay, both sides got it right,
mean,
and I think there's a perfect blend.
To talk about that blend of science and religion, finish her out.
Yeah.
Charles Darwin,
Yeah.
fanatic Christian, you know?
Ex-
And he
Exactly.
found out when he saw the proof of evolution when he went to Ecuador, he didn't want to even tell anyone about it because it would fundamentally shatter the earth and society that he knew.
But he also wrote something, I believe, that said it pushes Christianity
and he,
even
to
further.
a further extent. Yeah, he wrote
Yeah.
that letter just because when he published his book, every Christian was like, "You're ruining."
Yeah, exactly.
How can you
exactly.
call yourself a?
Exactly,
I
and
feel
he said this is a sign of God's intelligent
Yeah.
design.
And I feel
But-
like when you have that perfect mix, that peanut butter and
Yeah.
jelly, that
Yeah.
chocolate and peanut
Yeah.
butter, baby.
Exactly.
That's where you get that
Exactly.
real trash.
Exactly.
BB chocolate
exactly.
and peanut
hey,
butter, baby.
here's a BB
Hey.
chocolate peanut butter baby chill
Chill
time.
time, man.
Chill
Hey.
time exclusive 94.
PBM chocolate, A&W float burger, AW chill baby, bearwho.com.
Sideways.
Slash baby.
Sideways Mesopotamian baby chill 6945.
Anthropomorphism.
Yeah, anthropomorphic baby chilled.
Hashtag
That's the title of this episode. Ladies and gentlemen. Write that in
hashtag
there.
aliens are totally 420.
Oh yeah,
Hashtag
100%.
Like, I guess one thing I wanted to talk about this episode, we were tracking the
Yeah.
tracking the coronavirus.
Yes.
I actually read up on a pretty cool article about these. There's these two companies called Gredec and Moderno, I believe they're called, and they're based out of Texas, Austin, I believe.
Yeah.
And there are two labs that got grants from the government for multi-million-dollar contracts to build these machines, which I'll explain throughout the story what these machines do.
Yeah.
But part of the coronavirus and what they've been doing, they're trying to find a vaccine, and that can take up to years.
Yeah, exactly.
Not so much finding it, but getting it through the medical trials. There's 2 medical trials. Then you have to get it FDA approved, and then you have to worry about getting it out to everybody,
Yeah.
which that's a huge process.
They're
but,
super trying to expedite it though right now.
yeah. But so these two companies think that they found the coronavirus vaccine, and the way that they found it, they didn't even actually have coronavirus on site. They used adenovirus, which is another variation that's very common and causes about like 5% of colds. And so they didn't actually use the exact coronavirus. What they ended up doing is copying down the adenovirus into binary code information, and then this machine that they ended up buying with this contract from the government 3D visualizes the entire particle structure of that disease.
That's
so that
really
they can
cool.
find the weaknesses and things that you can manipulate on said structure. So they never actually had it in person.
So did they craft this instrument there?
This instrument is at those two
Was
places.
it just created for this though?
I don't know if it was. I think these two companies, they're contracted to design vaccines for the U.S.
Okay.
So it's not just for coronavirus, but
Yeah.
I don't. It didn't say anything about being the first or third
Machine
or
that was made.
15th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I
it's
got
still
you.
fucking awesome.
That's awesome. I mean, when we're pushed in a corner like this, I mean, that's when humans thrive. We thrive under pressure, and I strongly believe that, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's the only time that they get the shit done.
Exactly. That is true.
That's what there's that saying is just like whatever is like strong times create strong men, and then strong men create easy times create weak men, or whatever.
How long do you think before everything's just too easy?
Too easy?
Yeah. We have nothing to worry about.
Like jobs and shit. You mean nothing
Just
to worry
anything.
about?
Anything.
I mean,
We're not threatened by external threats. Everything's hunky dory with our.
I don't think that'll ever.
That'll never happen.
But I mean, coming from just the standpoint of everybody having a universal basic income and not having to have a job, and your life is literally about pursuing your passions.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd still give that quite amount of time.
Oh, dude.
That's such a
Also,
hard thing.
bionic men, bionic women.
Yeah, but the issue here's the thing I have with that is we're at such a good point right now with it, but you know, to get to that next humanizing step where you feel it with you, and I know like there's some pretty cool carbon fiber whatever you call them, appendages that you can put on that actually work really well with your neural input, but it's like people think that it's going to make you some superhuman or whatever, but you still have flesh.
Yeah, 100%.
And any of that power that's harnessed in that thing will energy transfers, and it's going to go to the most brittle part where it'll snap and release the energy.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the whole part of bionic men, like getting your consciousness to the point where it's you on and like
In a robot body.
but it's still actually you.
Yeah.
That's not you, though. That's just code.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you're right.
Because that's
you're
not
right.
directly transferring. That's just taking an exact copy of you.
It's trying its best to follow what you would do. Well, what if it was your brain inside a metal body? Robot dick.
I don't know.
You have a robot
I mean,
dick.
like
You have a
but
robot
having
dick that starts out from nothing, and it's like a little cone that pops out, and then there's another cone, and there's a fucking.
I'd just rather have two big fat balls that are just snug up against the bottom of the shaft,
or just as literally
like
your
those porn
robot.
star balls.
The only thing that's human is your dick and your brain. You know how weird that.
You know, I just wouldn't even want a dick at that point. You know, if
It'd
you're a
look
robot,
awkward. Yeah.
sex is a downfall. If you're a robot,
Yeah,
that's ruining. That's ruining time that you could be doing elsewhere.
Yeah,
You're wasting time.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be down in the ocean, dude, doing whatever.
In Mariana's Trench, making music with
exactly.
Mariana's Trench robot style.
Just with fucking turntables and shit.
Yeah, I mean
with
that's
the fucking
like
Loch Ness monster.
yeah, I don't see anything conceivable.
No,
like,
well,
coming
anyways.
together like that where everything's taken care of.
I don't either. I don't think that time will ever truly come, and I think that's what makes us human is that we have to constantly battle things and crack under pressure and all this shit. But I mean, that's fantastic. I heard there was that they are pushing this drug that without like full FDA approval, that has a 50% or 70%, somewhere between that. I remember it wasn't like for sure, but it was good.
Better than our flu vaccine.
But I saw a couple things that like China's going crazy right now, dude, because they're literally like almost like locked in, you know? There's a lot of like killings happening. I don't know if this is for sure. This was based off something some dude said on TikTok that I was like, I'm not going to go really look into that because it scares me, like, to be honest.
Yeah, I saw a video of some chick. She is basically saying is they're getting manipulated over there and they're not even trying to do anything about the virus, and the virus was used as almost like a peg and like some display of power.
Could be.
And I mean, who knows what narrative is actually going on over there. There's at least 30,000 different stories about what can actually be going on over there. I mean, it's terrifying.
Well, this is something that I wanted to speak about. It is not as scary as we're portraying it right now. It is really not as scary of a disease as we're portraying it right now. It's about a 10% mortality rate, which is about on par with the flu. Maybe it's less than that. I think 20,000 people have got infected. 1,000 have died. 1,200.
Yeah.
Can you give me the exact, Matt? How many people infected? How many people have died? It's a far lower mortality rate than we think, dude. It is not spreading as quickly as we thought. Yeah.
That it seems like it happened out of the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens with, fucking pandemics, global pandemics, and we did a great job at secluding that. I mean, U.S. only has like 14 ill. No, not even 14 ill anymore. Like 2 ill, 14 cases.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're doing a great job.
It says 75,782 cases and 2,131 deaths.
That is such a low mortality rate, to be honest. So it's nothing to be afraid of, guys, to be honest. Like, on a day-to-day basis, do not worry about that kind of stuff if you're living in the U.S. In China, yes, worry a little bit more, and that's when things become serious for cultures. Overpopulation is a very big thing, and especially in a country like that, dude, that shit can spread like wildfire.
Yep. Yeah. That's why, a lot of people I don't understand how they'll be, I hate this country, referring to the U.S., where we don't have issues like that nearly as much.
We keep one thing. The one thing that sucks here, dude, is it's overglorifying people that do have more than 2 kids. You get paid for 3 kids, up to 3 kids, I think, for your taxes. So that's basically saying, go have 3 kids. Which honestly, my belief, a person should only really be restricted to like 1 or 2. That way we're keeping population, we're losing population. And the more that we lose population, there's more growth that we can experience. And as things become better with technology, I'm not saying kill anybody. I'm just saying don't have the babies. You know what I mean?
Well, with that, we have a falling rate naturally.
Yes, exactly. It's going down again.
So I don't think we need to do anything to actually change that trend.
No.
I feel like we're going to naturally have a falling population anyways.
The rise in population, baby boomers, was to take care of things around the house, was for workforce. Have your own private workforce.
People got sick and died as kids a lot more often back then too.
Exactly. So as we get here and technology is taking over and stuff like that, there's less need to have more kids. There's less need. So telling people, hey, if you only have 1 kid, let's give you a bigger tax write-off than somebody that has 2 kids. Or if you have 0 kids, an even bigger tax write-off. That's how China does it, or maybe it was China. I think somebody
there's
pays
just a
you
penalty more if you have more than 1 kid on taxes in China.
Yeah, that might be true.
I think that was it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. That's what I remember hearing.
I think for their situation, I think that's definitely crucial. For us, I mean, things are gonna clear themselves out by themselves. Things like this happen, and things like this happen because of overpopulation. That is really why. If you didn't have as much, if you had more space in between people, maybe it would just be a small town right now that would be affected. So overpacking like that, it's just a fucking breed of illnesses that could happen.
Yeah, and, I mean I don't think that I am a big fan of not living in very populated places. You know,
Yeah,
I want to
me
grow
too.
when I grow up. I want to have a house that's on 20 acres,
Off the grid.
not off the grid, just on 20 acres.
I want off the grid.
I like space. I like to have some, personal time. I don't like being stacked up on top of each other like that. And I'm not saying that anybody chooses to be in that situation, but I feel like that's where in the U.S., like that's a place there. This is a place where you can choose your domain per se to a reasonable degree. I mean, you can get stuck in some place, but it's not like being stuck in a favela in Brazil. You know, that's a whole different ball game than being stuck in Pontiac.
Yeah.
Oh,
speaking of Pontiac, dude, that just made me think of this. There's a kid. This is awesome, man. This kid is trying to beat Frank's Red Hot. He's 13 years old, created hot sauce in his house. He's like entrepreneuring already, dude. Made hot sauce, makes it by hand. Made like killer ass hot sauce. I'll tell you the name in 2 seconds because I want to get a bottle. Because like it is called Denario's Comeback Sauce. A 13-year-old kid is probably making $10,000, $15,000 a month right now just on hot sauce, dude. And he's gonna kill it. This kid's gonna kill it. Everybody's already loving it, dude. It's like really good. Dude, that's what we're gonna do.
Here, Frank's sucks, man. I really don't like Frank's.
Was it? Did I say Frank's Red Hot?
Yeah,
that's probably what it is. I don't remember.
Well, that he's fighting, like trying to.
Yeah,
he
he said that's my goal is to beat Frank's Red Hot.
Yeah, and I mean Frank's.
That's ambitious. That's fucking ambitious,
I
dude.
think that's such an overrated sauce. I feel like the U.S. population needs to nut up a little bit.
That's
And
shitty
get hotter
Tabasco
food,
sauce.
dude.
Yeah, it's shitty Tabasco sauce, dude. Ugh.
I don't know. Frank's goes well with potatoes, but if you're looking for spice, that's not it. Tabasco is probably safer. If you're looking for flavor, that's not it either. Cholula is probably safer.
Cholula's great,
The
dude.
thing is about Frank's is every American's had it on their hash.
Well, it's
browns
also
at one
cheap to
point.
make.
Well, sure, but I mean, it's honestly cayenne peppers with a shit ton of vinegar, and you can really taste it.
Yeah.
So if this kid's got the shit, I'm willing to see what this.
Dude, let's get a bottle.
Let's get him on this
Let's
podcast.
get a bottle. I want to get this kid on this podcast. If we can get him on this
My
podcast.
mom sent me an article about this. Actually, I think it actually
kid?
sold out.
The kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sold out. Him and his grandma make it in his house.
Yeah, and it sold out on the internet.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, I bet, dude. If we can get him in, that would be fantastic. That'd be so
chill,
fantastic, dude. That'd be chill, baby. 94, 69, 29.
De Niro.
Divide
I
by
have to
3.
throw in that inappropriate number.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yes, exactly.
This kid's like 13. and
Facing the other way.
This kid's 13, and you're gonna be running around saying 69.
Dude, this kid loves it. I
Yeah,
already know him, dude.
we're
Me and him
on
are
top.
already, me and him are already
whoa.
Me and this kid are already best friends, dude. We make jokes like that all the time, dude.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are best friends.
We're best friends.
All I
We hang out
hear,
all the
all
time.
I hear,
Dude, he literally invited me over the other day. He's like, yo, dude, you want to make some Denario's comeback sauce with me? And I was like, yeah, bro. Let's go.
So
All I'm
basically, this
hearing-
is just a money play for you.
Yeah.
all I'm hearing
Brought
is
to you
You're
by
seeing through me.
Denario's comeback sauce.
You're seeing through me.
Yeah, I'm seeing right through you. I'm looking at this door, bro.
I'm a ghost. There's also one last thing. Actually, there's something funny. There's this guy that's going around. He's a little bit less fortunate right now, obviously, because he's spending all his time doing this. But he's doing a Trump's failures tour around New York. So he's like going around and talking about everything wrong that Trump's doing and stuff like that. Which I think is funny. I mean, in both aspects, it's funny and, needed, but at the same time, he's fucking going around. He's like talking about like the whole thing of Trump kicking people out of their houses, trying to make a building and stuff like that. But ultimately the people won and stuff like that. So and it would have pushed them out of a low income house and kind of screwed them over and not paid them for their inconvenience there. But whatever. I mean, I'm not here nor there. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a funny little thing. We'll watch it later. But it's pretty funny. This guy's just like, and these people are like, really? That fucking happened? And he's like, yeah, this fucking happened. And he has like articles and shit that he brings with him. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I just find it so weird that some people go on campaigns like that.
Yeah.
You know, I just can't care enough about that.
Well, dude, exactly. And you know, that's a difference in us versus him. He's very passionate about it.
Oh, well, of course. You know,
I'm not passionate for or against, dude. I don't care. You know?
Well, yeah, I'm just saying is to be passionate about one specific idea so much.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because that's like, the way I look at it is, I mean, thankfully nothing happened, but like he was putting himself in danger for that. It's just like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, dude, that's the thing is like, I just try and look at what would be the best in the interest of the world at the moment. I don't care. I'll tell you, I'm centralist with a lot of Republican tendencies. But I might vote for Bernie this year, dude. I might, dude. Who knows? Like, it's up in smoke, dude. You know what I mean? I'm not here nor there. And the same thing with religion. It's like the same thing, hand in hand. I think having ideas of both sides can really help. So, and last thing, dude, this is a tragedy, man. But actually, what happened is good. But the tragedy of there was a guy named Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon. You heard about the story?
I'm just curious on why you decided to bring it up. Just because we're in Michigan? I mean, that guy is sadistic and fucked. I can't believe he really... glad.
All right, so why don't you explain exactly what happened?
So, okay, there's this guy named Kevin Bacon. No relation, am I right? Because I read this news article.
Wasn't Footloose.
Yeah, that Kevin Bacon died, and I was like, what the...
Yeah.
So anyway, there's this guy in prison, and apparently he attempted to murder Kevin Bacon. Oh, no, he did murder him. So he murdered him, and then he proceeded to eat his testicles. No, he didn't eat them. He ate his balls.
Yeah.
And then when the police arrived at his house to arrest him, he admitted to the whole thing, murdering and eating his balls.
And also, weeks before, there was a guy caught. He had called the police. And it was of the gay community, right? He was like he had a bunch of dominatrix stuff on him or something, or leather or something.
I think the way they met up with
leather butt strap or something.
I do know this is that the way he met Kevin Bacon is through the LGBTQ community dating app Grindr.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's terrible.
So that doesn't give a lot of good press to Grindr out there.
No, it doesn't, dude. I mean, you can find that probably on Tinder too. There's probably been people that have been murdered. Who cares?
It's just messed up because I feel like any pansy out there who's trying to impersonate Jeffrey Dahmer is out there trying to go up on Grindr and then try to lure homosexual men back to their house where they can then proceed to horrifically murder them and then mutilate their
and keep their
corpses.
Head in a box.
Yeah, like that's sort of like it's like, you know, like gay men need dating apps too. I mean, shit, we all get lonely. It's just you gotta watch out for those sickos out there.
Well, that's the same, dude. I'm saying that's the same as Tinder, man. There's there's girls that have freaked me out where I'm like, I don't even think I feel safe like meeting up with you, to be honest.
And there's also
like
girls,
you could have a guy that's gonna jump me. You could kill me yourself. I'm kind of scared, and that's also a thing that we need to talk about realistically is, and we coined this term, toxic femininity, where it's us guys are the ones that are in the wrong. We can take advantage. We can be the ones that hurt you when you can be the ones that hurt us. I'm trained in martial arts and wrestling, and I still fear maybe a sideways interaction with a girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do, actually, in a way.
Anybody can take you out, dude.
I'm not like
scared.
And
you can easily become the enemy as well.
Yes, exactly.
It's not like
exactly. So
it's not like I'm scared per se. It's more just like I fear what they could do.
The capabilities of anyone, dude.
Yeah.
The capabilities of anyone.
And I feel like almost there'd be a false sense of security due to the way that us men are raised, as we're taught that the enemies we should be looking out for are either other men or women trying to take our money, not women trying to physically harm us.
Yeah.
Because in our society, as we all know, if you are shamefully beaten by a woman, there it is. Shame, you know?
Yes,
upon your, male counterparts.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing. It's not equal standards actually in this world. 95% of assaults that happen between a man and a female, it was actually caused by the female, and it was a man trying to defend himself, but he's actually accused of
95.
I think it's 95%. It was like a tremendous. Can you pull that up?
Yeah, but I feel like with this statistic, you got to watch out because like there may be a guys out there who's like claiming, you know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Never know.
That is true.
So I don't know what you want me to put in domestic abuse statistics for girl to male.
Domestic abuse statistics. Fuck, that'd be hard to look up.
Female to
But
male.
Nonetheless, it's tremendous. It's tremendous how much this happens.
I got it. Among its findings, more women, 23%, than men, 19.3%, have been assaulted at least once in their lifetime. So it looks like women have been assaulted more.
Yeah.
But it says the rates of female perpetrated violence are higher than male perpetrated, counting in at a 28.3% versus 21.6%. This is a funny part.
It's
it says
7%
males,
more.
It says male and female IPVs, which I'm assuming is like assault. It says are perpetrated from similar motives.
From what?
From similar motives. So it's basically saying that the reason why men and women fight over this are over the same things.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah,
It's probably true.
totally see that.
I mean, dude, I'm not here to say that women are doing more things wrong or men are doing more things wrong. It's simply we need to take accountability for ourselves and not push it off on other people. I know men push it off on women on a lot of things, and women push a lot on men. And for us to have a term that coins toxic masculinity, we should also have something that coins toxic femininity. Take equal action.
Yin and yang.
Because we have multiple races and multiple gender. Multiple genders.
Yeah.
Pushing to be number one. That's the fucking problem. Is not we're all equal. It's pushing to be number one. To push down the people that oppress them.
I don't know. I don't think we could live in a society though where it's all, dude, like someone's got to be number one. It's like the leader of the pack of the wolf. Not all wolves can be equal because if that was, then there would be no food left for those elderly and young.
Well, of course.
So there's got to be a leader somewhere.
Yeah.
But I feel like reasonably leading is the thing we need to work for.
With this guy, Kevin Bacon, though, he, the perpetrator, the murderer, actually died in prison or jail just the other day because he starved because he's a cannibal. I guess that's how he's eating. So we don't know how many people he did this to. That's scary, dude. That is fucking scary. It's really scary to me. So, people be on your guards using dating websites.
And that's, just all based off of Grindr.
Yeah.
It's quite a fun
thing
to have happen to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fuck. I mean, not really, but...
Dude, what was I just saying last episode, dude? I hate dating apps, dude.
Yeah.
This is where fucking problems arise.
See, you should only be relying on, not that, like Craigslist or social media.
Yeah.
Like, I get it for the social factor, but it just doesn't even feel like a genuine interaction anyways.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, most of the time the way that you end up with somebody is, like, having common interests and being in some similar realm. At some point in your guys' lives, you have a similar interest that's what brought you guys together.
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, just going and just it's a cool thing to have that you can meet people that you would normally never meet on a dating app. But I mean, I feel like if you're worrying that much about finding somebody, you're worrying too much about it.
Yeah,
100%. If you have to rely on going to a dating app to find somebody, and like that's your number one way of trying to find somebody, and putting so much time into it, it's like you need to be happy with the situation you're in, and just because if you are, everything will fall into place eventually.
That's what I need to remember on a daily basis. Is like that's where I'm falling short right now. Is I do look at it like, oh, I'm 25. I still haven't been in a real relationship type thing. I've been in long relationships, but not a real relationship. Where it's just like, I think that's why I'm pushing it so hard.
Well, you're never going to be in your real relationship until your last one. That's
I know.
How you're always going to
well,
look at it,
I want something where it's, not just a lot of them have just been so surface level, man. Like, yeah, we're physically attracted. Yeah, like mentally, we're still also kind of attracted, but we're not fully there. You know what I mean? And yeah, you might be right. That might be the last person, but that could be the girl that breaks my heart too. You know what I mean? And just fucking gets away. You know, but
yeah, but I mean, that's just everything in your life. It has the meaning that you put to it. You know,
yes,
so that's you know, no matter what religion, faith, or just idea about the world that you have, you know, it all comes down to, I don't know, just the way that you perceive the world and how you, every single one of your problems or whatever happens to you, how you take it and how you let it define you and what happened and how that you're going to come back from that or not come back from that.
Yeah.
Is like, if that's just like it, having the right attitude would be is like if that girl broke your heart and you were truly happy with who you were, you'd just be like that. All right, you lost out, pretty big,
or I gave it my best. I think that's where I need to start learning, dude. It's like I've had you know, within this last year, girl that fucked me up for, and you know about this, girl that fucked me up for about 9 months, 8 months, dude. Just off a short period of time where it was like it was too good to be true. I let it get inside my head. The problem is I let my mind wander.
It's
you know
like
what I mean?
schizophrenic hallucinations of what your life's going to be. When you
fantasize all these things. You're like, this is perfect. Everything's falling in place. This is what I've been waiting for. It's all happening. Oh my God, I'm so happy. Da, 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 da. And it's just life sets in and reality sets in where sometimes it doesn't work out. And, you know, shit like that.
The way I look at it, and I've learned this is the most consistent thing, especially with situations like that, is if you're imagining it happening like that at all, it's not going to.
Exactly.
Like if you're looking, you know, and like this, you know, like you cross eyes with some chick and you're at whatever place you're, you know, at a concert, wherever the fuck you're at, a comedy show. You know, you can sit there.
You're in a wine cellar
and interpret everything that you everything that you saw on that little blip, and take from it what you will, and write and be like, well, this is what she meant by it, and this is how it's gonna go, and blah blah blah, and I think she likes me, and blah blah blah. If you're reading into it that much, it's probably not even a thing.
Yeah,
and it won't change unless you go and do something.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's not like the most perfect example.
Yeah,
but I mean, just sitting there and trying to visualize how things are going to work out. Like if you're doing that just in general, it's not going to happen that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost it's over 90% of humans' assumptions are wrong, and correlations are not
100%.
even real ones.
And you know, I have this speculation too. If I talk about a relationship too early to my friends or anything like that, it never works out. I have this like it's like a what is that called? Dude, what is it called when you like cross your fingers and fuck, dude?
What?
You're like superstitious.
Superstition. Yeah. I couldn't think of the word. Anyways, I'm superstitious to that. Telling my friends if I'm in a relationship, I could talk to a girl for a month and a half and you guys would have no idea because I don't want to bring it up. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to do anything like that. You know, maybe it is really good. And if it's not going good, then I tell my friends. You know what I mean? Yeah. If it's not going good, then I tell my friends. Somehow it still ends up fucking working.
Well, I feel like that might be part of the issue, though. Is because, I mean, I get how a lot of people fuck things up because they are trying to put on a front for so long and so... You know, because the way that you've talked to me about the interacting with girls, because you know, you've said, you know, with my home situation, I don't like bringing him home, and I don't talk to my friends about her, and like I don't talk to her about my friends that much. You know, it's just very anti-personal, so you come off as anti-personal. You know, and so like that's setting the get-go, and it's like from the get-go, if you just say, hey, this is my life, like. Not you know, just like here's my problems. But exactly. You know, in a natural conversation, if you guys meet over dinner, you know, it's just like, hey, I just want you to know, like, this is my situation and what I deal with, and you know, like, this is the reason why, like, in the future, if you would ask, like, hey, can I come over, and this is why I'd be standoffish about it, and I'd rather have you not take offense to it.
100%.
You know, just that's the next, like that's this huge step, and what helps me with my, you know, feeling bad about myself and being confident is just you having, like, if you put it all out there, then that's everything that you could have done.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then from there is if someone decides, fuck you, and like, I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And when you're the most vulnerable part and you're just being honest, then they're not being that good of a person in that moment in time. And why do you need them around?
I agree.
You know, because any decent person, like, you know, like that girl was probably really chill.
Yeah.
But, you know,
your boy's about to cry.
Any girl that's truly decent. Yeah. Any girl that has a heart, anybody that cares for how people feel. Yeah. Would not have done that. They would have said something. Yeah, so exactly. Like have that's part of it. That's why I call it a schizophrenic hallucination, because I get in that way too. Is where like you almost write. Me and Matt talked about this before, where like you get this vision and you like write reality and how you think it is and how it's.
Or you write yourself off.
Yeah, or you write yourself off. Or in this case, is just you wrote her up to be this person and it was a great time. Or in reality, it was text to text interaction. I don't know if you guys hung out or whatever once or twice.
For months.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, you didn't tell me that much about it. Like I said, like you said, you were very personal about it.
Yeah. That's why that was in that stage that I don't want to talk to my friends about it. Then the moment that I talked to my friends about it, you know what I mean? Where I was like, I think I'm going to introduce her to my friends. We're like dating, you know. I'm going to introduce her to my friends. Made it Facebook official. Right, and then right out, dude. You know what I mean? And it was like gonna go hang out with my friends this weekend. We have plans, right? Yes. Okay. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
shit.
That's. I mean,
it's fine, dude.
It's trying to sit there and dwell and over-explain things. At the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. Is that's you have this thing where it was going great, but I mean, it's very easy to have somebody. That's put why
I wrote it in my head, though. Yeah. Of like, oh, this is great, and then I was like, is it the right time to tell my friends? And I thought it was. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I need to, those are things that I need to work on.
With real girls, though, I'm telling you this right now, real women and ladies,
not even girls,
ones that any girl that would be like,
that's why I call them girls until I mean, that makes sense. Like a good woman.
So any honest woman, any good lady, they're not, hey, do you want to make it official on Facebook? Or, hey, do you want to meet my friends? They'd be like, all right, hey, it's a little too fast. Yeah. Calm down.
Yeah.
And that'd be it. That's like what a real adult woman would do.
Exactly.
So, I mean, if that's not the reaction you're getting back, like, hey, back off a little bit, or, of course. Yeah. Then that person isn't worth your time right now. I mean, like, I'm 25. I haven't been in a real relationship. That doesn't even fucking matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It doesn't. Because our plans, you know, like, our plans and what we have, me and you don't see having kids or anything in the conceivable near future.
Yeah, for a while, dude.
I don't see until like I'm around 30. Until
that's the same with me.
Because there's so many things that we want to grow as this brand and do, and places that we want to go and see.
And it could be so halted by simple things like being in a relationship, having kids. You know. Yeah. And you're right. You're very right. You know, I don't want this to be a therapy session for me, but for anybody that's feeling.
Here's the thing: this is a podcast for us.
Yes, exactly.
Don't worry about that.
I know. But I don't need a therapy session right now.
This is the good contact.
I know. I love it, dude. I love it.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's like, because that's like walking out of this room having a more intimate relationship than when we left in. That is true. We were just talking about in the beginning of this episode is we don't want to cover the fucking surface bear who we want to get in a little bit
in the nitty-gritty. But I want to reserve like full episodes to get fucking so deep into it, not at the end of an episode. But you know what I mean?
Dude, that's gonna take so long to we're gonna have to make actual video and like actual shit to like framework an actual video to be like, you know, the life of Trevor, the life of Adam. Mm-hmm. You know, like almost no person that's ever gonna be a fan of this podcast is gonna listen to every single one.
No, hell no.
I haven't met a single person that's listened to every single Joe Rogan. If they have, they're lying, because there's been 3 that came out this week that I'm at work with you, and I know
to every Joe Rogan.
I don't know.
He's been there. I don't know.
There?
He might not be.
Is he there?
He might not be, dude. Has he ever
Joe Rogan?
Has he ever missed and like had somebody fill in for him? No. Okay. I was gonna say it's on his clock. He doesn't.
When he gets sick, he just goes on anyways.
Yeah.
Every time he'd just be like, I feel like shit. But
Yeah. Feel like shit, let's do this.
I can't wait to have that be an issue, though, in the sense where it's like, man, I'm sick. I can't do podcasts today. It's just have to cancel. And I can't wait till the time is have a little bit more of a comeback. A little bit more back and forth facilitation between us and the people that listen.
100%.
Something that
really
trying to grab.
Dude, if that worked, ideally, it's nice that we have two of us, because if I wasn't able to make it or you weren't able, like, if you're sick, I'm still going to come over here. I'm going to do the episode. You know what I mean? I'll do an episode. You can do an episode without me. You know what I mean? I think it works that way. Mm-hmm. If we're really that sick, like, hey, man, you're bedridden, you don't want to get up, all right. Come on.
If we're both sick, we can do a podcast in bed together.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be the case.
Tucked under the covers.
Thing ever, dude. Spooning. I'm big spoon.
That's fine, dude. That's all on your. That's all on your end.
Dude,
if you're the one that gets the boner, it's awkward for you, not me. So
I always get the boner.
Okay, well, at least I'm not the one that has to explain it. So you're the one that's.
Dude,
it's your
so weird, bro. I fucking I sleep away from people. Like, turn. I'm like in the same bed. I turn away. I'm never spooning, dude. Never spooned. You know what I mean? Throughout the night. Nah, never done that. I just turn away.
Right person.
I just turn. No, I will never do that. I get too hot and bothered, dude. And then my mind starts racing. I'm like, I'm too hot. I'm going to die. I'm going to die.
This is the growing part for you, bro.
Yeah, exactly. It is. Hey, we need to get into the growing part. We'll do it another time.
No, we'll spoon after this podcast.
No, I don't want to spoon with you, dude.
I don't want to spoon 5-second sets. And then
it's like working out.
Yes.
All right, 5 seconds. Here's 5 seconds. Okay. Take a breather. 5 seconds. All right. Anyways, I think that's good for today's episode, dude. That I love today. That was nice. That was like.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to make a comment really quick because you said something about bashing earlier. When I said the word ridiculous, I didn't want it to come off as me saying Matt's belief was ridiculous. I meant the notion.
Oh yeah.
The notion of saying, I just want to cover that up really quick.
I didn't know they needed my stamp of approval to
well, no, you're one of our buddies.
Listen, I love you, dude.
Am I looking butthurt? I know
you can be the third spoon.
I was just
no. This is just me, as in like, because here's something is that this is something that's important to us, and you're a part of this, and your feelings are a part of it too.
Yes.
No,
so I just wanted to clarify because here's something. Dope. Here we all have things that we need to work on. Bear, who professes he needs to say a lot less
and swearing
100%.
Mine is word choice and being blunt.
I didn't do it as much today.
Mine's word choice and being blunt.
Yes.
I mean, here's the thing is that's
you need to
not
start
the style.
Beating around the bush
that's
everything.
Huh?
You need to start beating around the bush about everything.
I'm not going to be a little bitch about it.
I never got everything.
I never got that.
Hey, do you want to go out to eat? Well, I got to take care of something real quick. So yes or no, dude? Well,
so you want me to do that?
Yeah.
Why?
Makes it really difficult.
So it's like you?
Yeah.
Yeah, stop eating around the bush.
Hey, dude, I did really good today with not saying yeah and swearing a bunch. I don't know. It wasn't conscious. I just stopped a little bit.
You're probably the rudest person I've ever met.
All right, fuck you, sir.
See, right there, this reciprocation thing right here. It's just all negative. I
love you. Fuck you.
I love you too, but fuck you. See, that's the thing. I want to do a segment eventually on podcasts, the kind of like Bad Friends with Bobby.
Yeah, we could do. We could do it so easily, dude. If we get in our groove, man,
just back and forth.
You guys don't even know the real us, dude. Like, me and Trevor get into fucking hoots sometimes. It's funny.
I feel like our
fun,
arguments
dude.
are funny because we get so pissed off at each other, and
then we start screaming, bro.
And then after that, we talk about the podcast for an hour and a half. And it's like, all right, love you, buddy. Talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's solved though with an argument. I love it, dude. Anyways, all right, let's go through socials. Do you want me to read it today?
I don't know. Whatever makes you power trip better.
Okay, dude. I guess.
Fuck you.
I hate your condescending behavior. Okay, so our Insta is at the Surreal Series. Our Twitter is at series_surreal. And our Reddit, though it's not being used at all, you guys can if you want. Give us cool clips or something like that, or something to talk about. If you want to hear our opinion on something, we'll talk about it. Reddit is r/the Surreal Series. That's our subreddit. We do have a Facebook page. You can find us. It's the Surreal Series. We don't really post too much in there. We're thinking about starting to do clips, make a separate YouTube channel. I think that's going to be my project. We
decided.
Yeah. That's going to be my project. I'm going to take care of that. And Trevor's going to work on our social media game. We're very unstrong with that. Like, dude, we probably fucking bench like 10 pounds in that.
Yeah.
In that social realm.
It's under 10 pounds.
Yes, exactly.
But I mean, that's like something that I'm not too terrified about. Is I'm thankful in a way that we're bad at social, because the people that do follow are following.
Yes,
and
exactly.
It's
they
not
like
just
it.
click shit.
Yes.
So
we know we're a true follower isn't lie, but at the same point, dude, I feel like everyone here is a true follower, and that's nice, dude. That's nice. Though we don't get many comments and whatever, people are still there. They'll message us on Facebook and stuff like that. Dude, love your messages. Love them. Absolutely. Every time I get a message, I'm sure you've gotten some messages too. You have.
Yeah, I've gotten a few back and forth. And I mean, I made a post earlier this week, like I said earlier, asking about, people coming on, but don't wait for posts. If you have something, it's just, like I said in the post, we're not trying to sit here and, you have something great to say. The best things that are going to come out of somebody are just through the natural conversation, like mine and Bear, who's just
exactly.
Now. So, it's more about just come on for the experience of being on a podcast. There are 900,000 plus podcasts on this planet right now.
Yeah.
But how many people do you know that are like, yeah, I've been on one?
Yeah,
I think I know a total of like 4 or 5 other people that have been on a podcast, not including the people that we've had on.
Yes,
just
exactly.
other people I know.
Exactly. And it's very sporadic. Yeah, and you have to have something in podcast layman's terms. You have to have something great to talk about. You have to be interesting as a person. Dude, you are interesting no matter if you're sitting there right now thinking, nah, I'm not the person. You're the fucking person.
That's just because you live your life every day, dude, so you're not going to be interesting to yourself.
Yes, exactly. We find you so fucking interesting. Like, I'm not kidding. And that's not just me saying that. It's not just me saying that to be part of the podcast program. No. I literally find every single person interesting, and I love stories that just blow my mind. You have a story. Everyone has a story.
And our dream is for the rest of our lives to come in and be able to, anybody that we talk to in our lives and we want their story to be heard, they can come into this studio and we have an audience to share with a bunch of people, to share them to a bunch of people that they would otherwise they would never be heard of, never spoken about, never even a figment in their mind.
Yeah.
Just to be able to bring awareness, and that's something we'd want to do for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
It's not even just like, part of the podcast program. That's just a hobby we want to have.
Exactly.
And the bigger the audience, it's going to be a lot more gratifying in the end, just for the sake of
we can reach more people,
influence, and help actually change things.
Yeah.
And, help people.
I hope so.
Out.
That's what I really hope, man, is that we can at least say, I helped a person. You know what I mean? At the end of this, I helped a person.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, all the others is just semantics. Everything else is just semantics. Like, to feel truly rewarded. Yeah, that's true.
Those two
that
things,
too.
Really,
but the true reward, dude, I think my true reward in life is like that I actually made an impact on this world, whether it was as small as one person or as big as 1 million, dude. I think realistically, man.
Well, ultimate dream, I guess the way I summed it up into one sentence, I forget who I was talking to. I basically told him is I want it to be as Trevor and Adam did this,
Yeah.
It's like that our name has some stamp. It has something that we did, that's something, because never been the best at anything in either of our lives. We just want that one thing that we conquered, the one thing we did the best.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly what that is yet. We're going to find that out probably 30 or 40 years from now.
Exactly.
But
I think so. I think sooner than later, actually, dude.
The reason why we're doing this is because we're not settling for normal. We're not settling for just the status quo.
Yeah.
There's something in us that wants to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
And we're following that. I'm
100%
happy about it.
100%. So yeah, guys, you can contact us on anything. There's DMs through everything. If you guys need to talk, You want to talk
Send
about
us a picture of your butthole, whatever.
I don't want that. I really don't want that, but I'll accept it.
Just put it on send it in the DMs on Insta.
Dude. By you saying that, you just opened up a fucking can of worms. Can of worms, dude. Okay, yeah, anyways. So, yeah, just if you guys need anything, you want to be on the show, anything, just contact us. It's simple as that. Not going to really go too much further into it. No more Facebook posts on that kind of shit, you know?
Yeah, I mean, what else do we have to say? Pretty much nothing, right?
No.
Ready to go? Sign out?
Yep.
Love
you guys have a wonderful week. Hey, wash those hands. I'm going to keep on reminding that till this sickness goes, all right?
Hell yeah.
Love you guys.
Until next time.
Bye.
Why are you saying that?
This is Surreal Series, baby.